Have you ever wondered why, despite working hard every day, some people never seem to escape being broke? Why does money slip through our fingers like water, no matter how tightly we try to hold it? What if the real reason for this struggle lies not outside us, but deep within our own minds? Take a moment and think about a person who constantly worries about money. They live paycheck to paycheck, stressed about bills, debts, and what the future might bring. Their mind is full of fear and doubt. But what if this person could break free, not by magic, but by changing how they think? By mastering themselves, not the outside world? This is the ancient wisdom we will explore today. Welcome to Book Boost. If you want to change your life and stop being broke, you've come to the right place. Here, we dive deep into life-changing ideas inspired by the greatest thinkers who taught us how to conquer not just poverty, but our own destructive emotions. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your journey to real wealth begins with your mindset. Please drop down your one thought on believing yourself in comments. Your words might inspire someone else to change today. Poverty is not just a lack of money, it is a state of the soul. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." When our desires grow wild and uncontrolled, they chain us to a life of endless need. But when we learn to master desire, we find freedom. The first step to escaping poverty is to recognize that the battle is within. It is the fight against fear, impatience, and the urge to seek quick fixes. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor who ruled with reason and strength, reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This strength, this self-control, is the key that unlocks the invisible chains holding us back. As we move forward in this journey, we will reveal how Stoic wisdom teaches us to rise above destructive emotions and build a foundation of true wealth, one that no one can take from us. We all know the feeling, wanting something so badly that it consumes our thoughts. It might be a new phone, a fancy car, or clothes that promise to show the world we have arrived. But ask yourself, when did wanting something turn into needing it? And when did need turn into a burden on your soul and your wallet? Desire, in itself, is not wrong. It is part of being human. But unchecked desire is the trap that pulls us deeper into poverty, no matter how much money we earn. It starts with a small want, a simple wish for a little comfort or pleasure. Yet, over time, this small flame can grow into a wildfire of endless cravings that demand more and more. The Stoics warned us about this long ago. Seneca, a man who knew the value of restraint, said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Our true poverty is born from never being content. When desire becomes an endless hunger, it consumes not just our money but our peace of mind. Think of debt. Debt is the outward sign of inward chaos. It is the result of chasing wants without control. When we borrow money to satisfy our desires, we are promising ourselves future suffering for present pleasure. But the future never comes free. Interest builds, stress builds, and slowly the weight of these promises drags us down. This cycle is relentless. The louder our desires shout, the weaker our ability to resist. But here is the secret that many fail to see. Desire is a choice. It is not something forced upon us by the world. It is born inside, in our mind. We can learn to recognize it, to question it, to control it. We must ask ourselves, what am I truly seeking? Is it happiness? Or is it a fleeting distraction from fear or loneliness? When we understand that true happiness cannot be bought, the power of desire over us begins to fade. The greatest freedom comes not from having more, but from wanting less. Marcus Aurelius taught us to keep our desires small, to live with simplicity and purpose. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. This means that the power to change our desire lies within us. It is hard. The world around us pushes harder every day. Advertisements, social pressure, comparisons with others, they all fuel the fire. But the Stoics show a way out through self-discipline and reason. By training our minds, by facing our cravings head-on, we weaken their grip. Imagine a man walking through a market full of shiny things he does not need. He feels no urge to reach for them. He walks calmly, steady in his mind. This is not a story of perfection but of practice. It is the practice of returning to what is truly important, over and over again. When desire loses its power, debt loses its power too. When we can say no to what we do not need, we build a fortress around our life. The fortress is not made of bricks but of self-control. It protects us from the storms of impulsive spending and the anxiety of owing money. Epictetus said, Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Money, possessions, even the approval of others, these are beyond our true control. What we can control is our attitude, our decisions, our desires. It takes courage to face desire. It takes courage to say no to the moment's temptation for the sake of long-term peace. But this courage builds strength. It turns a weak mind into a powerful one, able to weather any storm. The journey to stop being broke is a journey inward. We begin by understanding how desire works inside us. We learn to pause before acting. We choose what is truly valuable over what is fleeting. We replace anxiety with calm. It may sound simple, but simplicity is the greatest challenge. Because the world screams for complexity, more choices, more distractions, more things to want. Yet, the Stoics remind us, the path to true wealth is narrow and often lonely. But it is also free. When we free ourselves from endless desire, we free our time, our energy, and our peace. We no longer serve our wants but become the masters of them. This is the foundation on which real wealth is built, not just the coins in our pockets, but the wealth of a calm and steady mind. So, look within. Where is your desire leading you? Is it to freedom or to chains? To peace or to anxiety? Remember, the choice is always yours. The power to control desire is your power to build a better life. We live in a world where many chase riches yet feel poor inside. A world where people believe wealth is something you can only touch with your hands, not something you can build within your soul. But the truth is different. Real wealth does not begin with money. It begins with self-mastery. Ask yourself this. What is a man worth who earns a fortune, but cannot control his anger? What is a woman's wealth if she loses sleep over what others think of her? How rich can we truly be if every moment of peace is destroyed by envy, fear, and comparison? The Stoics taught that no matter how much gold fills your hands, if your mind is in chaos, you are still poor. You see, life is not about gaining control of the outside world. It is about gaining control of your inner world. That is where everything begins. That is where wealth is built. The kind of wealth that stays with you even when all else is gone. There is a fortress inside each of us. A place where no noise from the outside world can enter unless we open the door. But most people leave that door wide open. They let every insult, every failure, every piece of bad news walk straight into their hearts. They hand over their peace to strangers and wonder why they feel so poor. But we are not meant to live like this. The Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, they believed in building this inner fortress. Not with stone, but with reason. Not with walls, but with discipline. They trained their minds to remain calm in storms, steady in success, and strong in failure. They believed that the richest person is not the one who has the most, but the one who needs the least. Let us take a closer look at how this works. Think about desire. When you want everything, you become a slave to everything. You chase more and more, thinking it will make you whole. But the more you want, the more you suffer. The Stoic path teaches the opposite. Want less. Be content with little. If you can enjoy a simple meal, you are richer than a king who is never satisfied. This doesn't mean you should not strive for success. It means success should never control you. You must remain free inside. You must learn to say, if I have it, I'm grateful. If I lose it, I'm still whole. That is power. That is freedom. That is wealth. Let's talk about control. So many people waste their lives trying to control things they were never meant to. They worry about other people's opinions, about luck, about the future. But none of these are truly in our hands. And so, we suffer. But the Stoic teaches us this. Focus only on what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, your response. That is the path to peace. Wealth comes to those who know how to keep their emotions in check. Think of anger. It burns quickly, but it leaves nothing behind except damage. Think of envy. It poisons the heart and clouds the eyes. Think of fear. It builds cages around your dreams. If you wish to grow rich in life, you must learn to rule over these feelings, not be ruled by them. A Stoic does not pretend emotions don't exist. We are human, but a Stoic does not let emotions decide the path. Like a captain steering a ship through a storm, a Stoic holds the wheel steady, no matter how high the waves rise. That is self-mastery. And what of time? The poor man wastes it. The wise man treasures it. Every moment you spend complaining, comparing, or doubting yourself is a coin thrown into the fire. You will never get it back. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now." Let that determine what you do and say and think. He was not trying to scare us. He was trying to wake us up, to remind us that time is life, and to waste it is to throw away your fortune. You don't need more money to feel secure. You need a stronger mind. You need to train it like a muscle. Every time you resist an impulse, you become wealthier in discipline. Every time you choose patience over anger, you become richer in peace. Every time you say no to something harmful, you grow more powerful in silence. These are not small things. These are the true treasures. We are not talking here about becoming emotionless or cold. We are talking about becoming unshakable, calm, clear, and confident. That is how real wealth feels. It is quiet. It does not scream for attention. It does not need approval. It simply is. It moves through the world without fear because it knows its strength comes from within. In every situation, ask yourself, what part of this can I control? If the answer is none, let it go. If the answer is some, take action. And in every case, stay rooted in who you are. The storm may rage, but your roots go deep. That is how a Stoic thinks. That is how a strong soul survives. You may still be facing financial struggles. That is real. But do not let your current situation define your inner worth. Many of the great Stoics were not wealthy by today's standards. Some were even slaves, like Epictetus. Yet their words and strength have lasted centuries. Why? Because their minds were free. You must begin where you are. Right here. Right now. Build habits that make you stronger. Speak words that are honest. Choose discipline over comfort. Stop chasing shortcuts. Start becoming the kind of person who cannot be broken by hard times. That person is already within you. You just have to clear away the noise to hear their voice. You don't need to shout. You don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to follow the crowd. Just be steady. Be grounded. Be simple. That is how a Stoic builds his wealth from the inside out. You have been given something greater than any treasure. You've been given the power to choose how to live, how to think, and how to respond. Use that power wisely. Spend it like gold. And in time, even if the world calls you poor, you will walk with the quiet confidence of a truly wealthy soul. Because the one who rules himself needs nothing from the world. The Final Awakening, 8 Stoic Principles to Shatter Your Financial Limits. The true battle for wealth is not fought in the marketplace or at the bank. It is fought quietly, inside the mind. The chains that bind a person to poverty are invisible, but they are real. They are forged by our own thoughts, desires, fears, and habits. To break these chains, we must awaken to truths that ancient wisdom has passed down through centuries, truths that will change how we live, think, and act. Let us begin this final awakening. It is not sudden. It is not loud. It is steady, a deep turning of the soul towards self-mastery. Here lie 8 principles, 8 lights in the darkness, guiding us away from the poverty of the world to the wealth of inner strength. First, we must understand that external things, money, possessions, status, are indifferent. This does not mean they have no value. It means they do not define us. The Stoics called these things externals and taught that true good is virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. When we anchor our worth to externals, we become slaves to them. When they leave us, our spirit shatters. But when we hold fast to virtue, we remain unbreakable. Marcus Aurelius said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." Your wealth begins with your mind. Second, practice the art of controlling desire. Unchecked desire is like a raging fire. It consumes everything in its path. When you desire more than you need, you create a hunger that can never be satisfied. Epictetus advised, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. The things beyond our control are often what we crave most. Train your mind to want what is enough. This simple shift empties the stomach of longing and fills the soul with peace. Third, embrace hardship as your teacher. Poverty is often seen as an enemy, but it can be a harsh and wise master. When we face difficulty without fear or complaint, our spirit grows stronger. Seneca wrote, "Difficulty strengthens the mind, as labor does the body." If you learn to welcome challenge and not run from it, you prepare yourself for any storm. The Stoic does not seek comfort, he seeks resilience. Fourth, remember that time is the most precious resource. Money lost can be regained, but time lost is gone forever. How many people waste hours chasing distractions or waiting for luck? How many sacrifice precious moments to fleeting pleasures? Do not let your life slip away in pursuit of things that do not feed your soul. Use your time to cultivate wisdom and self-discipline. In this way, you create lasting wealth. Fifth, practice gratitude for what you have now. It is easy to look at what you lack and feel despair, but the Stoics remind us to be thankful for the present moment. Epictetus said, He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. Gratitude shifts the mind from scarcity to abundance. When you see your life is full, you stop the endless chase and begin to build from what you already own. Sixth, guard your thoughts fiercely. Your mind is a garden, and the seeds you plant grow into your future. Negative, fearful, or greedy thoughts will bear bitter fruit. Stoic philosophers taught constant vigilance over the mind. Marcus Aurelius advised himself, reject your sense of injury and the injury itself disappears. When you refuse to feed fear and anger, they lose their power. Control your inner world, and your outer world changes. Seventh, live with purpose, not impulse. Wealth without purpose is empty. When you understand why you seek financial security, not for vanity or greed, but to live a life of meaning, you unlock true motivation. Your actions become deliberate, your goals clear. Seneca warned against being busy, but not productive. Choose your path with care, and walk it with steady feet. Finally, cultivate patience. The journey from poverty to wealth is not a sprint, but a slow climb. The Stoics taught that great things come from small, consistent efforts. Do not be swayed by instant gratification or the noise of the world. Instead, hold steady, work quietly, and trust in the power of daily discipline. As Epictetus said, no great thing is created suddenly. These principles are not abstract ideas. They are practical tools. They demand action. They ask for courage and self-control, even when the world tempts you to give in. When you live by these rules, your mind grows strong, your fears fade, and you begin to shape your own destiny. We live in a world that teaches us to believe that money is power and happiness, yet often it delivers neither. The Stoics remind us that power lies within, and how we govern our thoughts and emotions. By mastering ourselves, we shatter the limits others place on us. We break free from the invisible chains that poverty ties around our spirits. Remember, wealth is not just what you hold in your hands, it is the peace you carry in your heart. When you stop being a slave to fear, desire, and impatience, you find a richness no one can steal. Let this final awakening be your guide. Let these principles become your daily practice. In time, you will see the transformation, not just in your bank account, but in your soul. This is the path of the true Stoic. This is the path to freedom.